on Cremosta, who, causes a problem, but how on earth has that been missed by the officials?
Do you think they're just trying to match the sort of quality we've seen in the football? Trying to keep up with that in that sense, maybe? They've given a free kick to Jablonek on halfway here that stopped Finlay Curtis motoring forward. Something off the ball. I think it's Chantarishvili's been taken down. A minute and a half to go. I don't think we'll get any additional time at the end of the first half. I mean, we didn't get any extra time at half time, and there was some free kicks. And in this 15 minutes, we've had barely anything. So, balanced off the consistency we've seen from the man in the middle, the Serbian referee, Nenad Minakovic, I don't think anything should be added on. So, a minute to play, the end of the first half of extra time. Jablonek coming forward, good ball to the far side it is, left side of the box, going to try take on Fernandez, going to be able to do it, ball to the back post, there's no one there, looking for Rusek, but then no one following on that right hand side, and that maybe filters in, that's going to be a goal kick, maybe filtering into Chantarishvili playing at a right wing back role now, that if he was where he was in that 90 minutes, he may have been putting that in the back of the net.
It's weird, it almost feels like both teams are playing with 10 men. It almost feels like they're a man short everywhere, which is bizarre to say. They're just,
it's almost Rusek playing at a right attacking mid role.
Yeah, they both look like they're missing players basically, and they're not.
Definitely.
They're just set up horrifically, and almost it's like no one knows where they're meant to be playing.
It's almost like two teams that want penalties at this point, and it looks very much like we may just get it with 15 to go, unless something changes. Finlay Curtis looking for Shankland, and he shanked the pass really, and they're blaming each other.
I think Shankland's got to go, Nathan, I'll be honest.
It's been, well, it was a similar performance against Hibs when I watched them at Ibrox. He wasn't great when he came off the bench there. He doesn't really start games for Rangers. That's going to be a free kick surely, and that one definitely will be. I don't know which one he's given here, but he's given a free. He may have been blown for half time here. He may have just been packing it in, I'm not quite sure. We've hit over the 105. The scoreboard hasn't diminished, now it has. So join us very shortly for second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1-1 on aggregate. We are 15 minutes away from penalties, and it's certainly looking that way unless someone finds a way to the back of the net in the second half. Join us live for the second half of extra time. Nothing's changed in the Czech Republic as it's still Jablonek 1, Rangers 0, 1.
Well, it's a very warm welcome back to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this Europa Conference League qualifier between Jablonek of the Czech Republic and Rangers of Scotland. We're into the second half of extra time in this one. It's myself, Lee Cassius, alongside me Nathan Wasdell take you through all the remaining action of the 15 minutes. And well, change at half-time in extra time. Bojan Miovski's been brought on for Dujon Sterling. I can only assume that's for penalties. We said before half-time, extra time, it looked like both managers had just chucked players onto the pitch and said make it up as you go along, and this doesn't really help their case in that sense, because Rangers are now playing with 3 centre forwards on the pitch. In fact, no, I tell a lie, because Ryan Ndiri was brought off, wasn't he? He was brought off in Nedeljkovic a fullback. So again, we are still at the point where we're throwing players on for the sake of it. But yeah, Nathan, I think we were both confined to extra time as soon as Jablonek scored, and I think we've both been confined to penalties now for probably the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're staring it in the face, aren't we, at this point? I think both teams, like you say, chucking on penalty takers and just trying to survive until then, which is an interesting setup for me for Rangers. I think they needed to try and get this done before the penalties, to be frank. Like you say, the home side will be up for this, that's for sure. They'll have the advantage of the home crowd as well, so it'd be very, very interesting. But I can't see this game, the rhythm of this game, changing in the next 50.
No, difficult to see that happening. Clear to see that these two not aware. Just past the side of the post out of nowhere. The ball swung in by Jan Kramosta, seemingly missed by everybody. Almost tapped into the back of his own net there. It was Macania with it. I mean, absolute mess at the back again for Rangers. This is a nightmare. 107 minutes for Derek McInnes, it really is. Here it is now with Nedeljkovic on this near side into Connor Barron, who turns away in midfield, looking for options around him. Will play a ball forward into Asgard. Asgard now onto the far side for Curtis. Curtis back down the line for Asgard. He's got Shankland and Miovski to aim for in the penalty area. Floats it towards Miovski. He heads it back across goal. Couple of flick-ups there from Curtis as he tries to strike towards the back of the net, but he could never get the ball under control, and play breaks down with Jablonek able to get it clear. Here's Miovski down the Rangers' right-hand side. Lays it off to Curtis. Curtis into Shankland. Miovski trying to cause an issue. He wants a penalty. Nothing given. Shankland will continue chasing it inside the box. Has the ball gone out? Referee says no, that's a poor pass out. And now it's all up to Kadidla to try and get it clear. Eventually, I think he wins a throw-in on the near side, but an absolute mess. And really, really awkward for Pavlovic and Kadidla.
Yeah, it's a weird old scenario. Everyone just pausing around. I don't think it went out. I think it was a good decision. Let's have a look. Yeah, that stays in. And then just hoof it clear, and he's trying to play a 2-yard pass left in his own area. I mean, what's he doing? Eventually, he's won himself a goal kick. It's a mess. It's become a mess for both sides. I think since the equaliser, Jablonek have thought they've done the hard work and we're going to try to see this out for penalties, which you can't really blame them for, as obviously not on the pitch, but on paper underdogs, shall we say. But being at the home side, I thought they could have gone for this a lot more, but I think Rangers were there to get at, but it's just, yeah, it's not great, is it?
No, it certainly isn't, and yeah, a really tricky watch from a neutral's point of view as well. Jablonek are about to make their final change of the evening. It looks as though, yeah, it is going to be number 25, Nabila. He's going to be replaced by Filip Novak, the number 57, 36-year-old defender. Again, with seemingly players getting thrown onto the pitch, sort of in any old position. Signed for Jablonek in February of last year. Second spell at the club, having previously been at the club from 2011 to 2014, so an experienced centre-half. And at this level as well, played for the likes of Midtjylland and Trabzonspor, Fenerbahce as well, before a period of time in the Middle East with Al Jazeera in the UAE. As that's going to be a free kick given inside the penalty area. I think Fernandez may be overstepping the line just that little bit. I'm entirely sure you could you could necessarily say that was an obvious foul, but a foul given nonetheless. And an opportunity for Jablonek to launch forward. They'll launch it long down the far side, looking to try and cause issues. Akiki now will launch long, looking towards it's Rusek over on that far side. Rusek will play it back now to the Georgian Chantrevishvili. Ball just bouncing around in midfield. Now neither side able to get it under control. Eventually Finley Curtis will launch long on the volley. But the fact that Rangers are having to do that against the side of the quality of Jablonec, no disrespect to the home side, I think that's quite telling. Curtis has now been fouled on this near side, left in quite of a heap as he falls on top of the ball. A foul there from Edouard Sobel, the number 23. And a free kick for Rangers to keep the ball moving once again. If you have a look towards penalties, Nathan, you had to guess who's best placed for the shootout. I know it's tricky. Do you maybe lean towards Rangers because they've got the two strikers on the pitch?
No, I don't, unfortunately. Not from what I've seen. I'm not convinced. Being at home as well, Jablonec, I fancy them, to be honest. I do. It's an interesting one, but yeah, I still fancy the home side maybe to get this done just from the tie we've seen alone. By the way, Freiburg 3-1 up, that's 6-2 on aggregate at home to Motherwell, so it looks like Motherwell are going to be crashing out of that qualifying round.
Yeah, it looks as though that is going to be the case. Disappointing for Motherwell, but they had to come through so many rounds to get this far, and to lose against Freiburg is no there's no disrespect there. As Lawrence Shankland's picked himself up a yellow card, I believe, for dissent over on the far side, maybe for a bit of time wasting. So in again taken by Jablonec backwards, all the way back to Harnush, the goalkeeper. Attempted clearance down the near side by Milenkovic is a poor one. Further cleared into midfield to Akiki by Sobel. And then lofted ball over the top, looking towards Rusek. Is not a bad ball, but it's going to bounce straight through to the hands of Ivor Panda. 8 minutes to go until the end of extra time. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Jablonec 1, Rangers 1, level on aggregate at 1 apiece. These two clearly didn't get the memo that me and Nathan have got a game that kicks off in 11 minutes time, but that's alright, we'll make things work. As here it is now with Fernandez on the back line for the visitors. Back to Panda, into Macania. Macania, ball over the top, poor, usually dealt with in the end by Pavlovic. And now here come the home side driving forward over on that right. It's a ball played into Rusek, who tries to move forward, but he's challenged well by Chakwani. And then the strike comes in from 40 yards out, and that's going to be roll about as far wide as it was, as far away from the goal in the first place from Chantarishvili. Disappointing from the Georgian. And the chance goes a begging once more for Rangers. Nedeljkovic now down the near side. Leads it into Barron. Barron fired ball forward to Curtis. He's got a bit of space to run into. Will cut in on his left boot. Still going Finley Curtis. Strike from distance. Again, wide of the post. No real test there for Jan Harnush. And that'll be another goal kick. This time the way of Jablonec. As I'm sure they'll take the time over it, will the home side. As you've already heard Nathan say, he reckons they're best placed for penalties. They'll probably feel alright about a penalty shootout in front of their home crowd. Be interesting to see what end they would pick, because there's one end with both Rangers fans and Jablonec fans, and then there's also an end with no one at all. So I wonder what end you would pick, because I also think as well, there's probably a bit to say that it's a little bit off-putting taking a penalty in front of, I don't even know what you described that at the end where Ivor Panda's currently keeping. It's sort of just nothing really. You know, be a bit worried you'd hit the ball back there. I think, I don't know which end I'd rather take a penalty.
No, honestly, I think end's a bit of an overstatement, and we've just seen a shot into it, and the ball's gone into a forest, I think, and we lost it. By Okeke, who's not for the first time hit it from range, it must be said. He's not shy of doing so. It is an interesting one, and it was a thought that did go through my head, because there's a lot of Rangers fans that are closer to that goal than the home fans. So, like you say, if Rangers get the toss, you know exactly where they're going. But if it was the home side, it'd be a very interesting decision.
I'm sure they'll have thought about it coming into this one. That's a foul given away by Filip Zorvan in the midfield. The 30-year-old Czech midfielder, formerly of Sigma Olomouc, as once again Rangers find themselves trying to play out from the back. That's not a great pass over onto the far side, but it's been held on to well by Penrice. It is now with the former Ike Athens fullback. Tries to play a ball into Miovski. It's a telegraph pass, really. Miovski can't get on the end of it after the interception is made by Pavlovic. Akiki now will try and turn away from his man. Play it onto the near side for Novak. Novak will play it further out wide for Sobel. Novak once more into the midfield for Zorvan. Zorvan will move forward nicely. Lead off to Sobel. Sobel now into Zorvan once more. Novak. Sobel. Novak again. I don't think the 36-year-old knows what he wants to do with it down that end of the field. Here it is now with Sobel. Now Zorvan into Novak inside the penalty area on the half volley. Fires towards Ivor Panda. And it's a comfortable save from the Croatian in the end. But a good patient move that from the home side. And, well, Filip Novak, the 36-year-old, very nearly was the hero for Jablonek.
He was, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't a bad save at all. He had to get down quickly to his left, Pando, and it came through a body as well. So he actually did very well. He's not had loads to do of recent memory, has he? So credit to the former Hull man. He may have a lot to do in about 5 minutes' time, to be honest, facing at least 5 spot kicks, I'd say. But, yeah, that was a good save. Good build-up play it was from the home side.
Nedeljkovic into Curtis, edge of the penalty area, tries to lay it off to Asgard. It's a really poor pass looking for the Norwegian. And now a chance for the home side to come forward. Here it is in midfield with the number 8, Zorvan. Zorvan backwards. It's not a great pass from the midfielder. They keep hold of possession just. There's Jablonek. Akiki opens his body. There's a man down in the midfield, or at least on his haunches. It's Sedlacek, who looks like he's completely spent this evening. The midfielder, he's not moving in the slightest, catching his breath as that's a poor pass out wide, and it's been given away. I think that's going to be a Jablonek throw, though, after a loose touch from Penrice. Camera just pans to Filip Novak. On Monday, Penders, Chavaria, Barco and Welbeck all come into the side in place of Sanchez, Colwell, Hatto and Joao Pedro. Jack Wilshere makes 6 changes of his own after the Notts County draw. Naismith, Anderson, Jones, Richards, Clark and Wells all miss out as Ashby, Odafin, Johnson, Benaga, Kodja and Marshall all start. So for Chelsea, it's Mike Penders in goal, a back 4 of Chavaria, Lacroix, Acheampong and Gusto, midfield 2 of James and Barco with Rogers, Palmer and Esteval supporting Danny Welbeck up top. As for Luton, it's Keeley in goal, a back 4 of Ashby, Odafin, Johnston and Johnson, midfield 2 of Benaga and Walsh with Lawrence, Palmer and Kodja supporting Marshall through the middle. Chelsea host Luton at Stamford Bridge in the second round of the EFL Cup at 7:30 this evening. The Blues got their season up and running against Fulham last time out in Xabi Alonso's first game in charge. Despite errors at the back and in goal, Chelsea power past the Cottagers to win 3-2, courtesy of goals from Joao Pedro, Cole Palmer and new signing Morgan Rogers. Their opponents tonight, Luton, have gotten off to a similarly impressive start this season under Jack Wilshere. That has continued from where they left off after a fantastic end to last season. They hammered Gillingham in the first round of this competition before beating Reading on the opening day of the League One campaign. Last time out, they only managed to draw against Notts County, but will be hoping for an upset tonight against Chelsea. Xabi Alonso makes 5 changes from the win at Craven Cottage on Monday. Penders, Chavaria, Barco and Welbeck all come into the side in place of Sanchez, Colwell, Hatto and Joao Pedro. Jack Wilshere makes 6 changes of his own after the Notts County draw. Naismith, Anderson, Jones, Richards, Clark and Wells all miss out as Ashby, Odafin, Johnson, Benaga, Kodja and Marshall all start. So for Chelsea, it's Mike Penders in goal, a back 4 of Chavaria, Lacroix, Acheampong and Gusto, midfield 2 of James and Barco with Rogers, Palmer and Esteval supporting Danny Welbeck up top. As for Luton, it's Keeley in goal, a back 4 of Ashby, Odafin, Johnston and Johnson, midfield 2 of Benaga and Walsh with Lawrence, Palmer and Kodja supporting Marshall through the middle. Chelsea host Luton at Stamford Bridge in the second round of the EFL Cup at 7:30 this evening. The Blues got their season up and running against Fulham last time out in Xabi Alonso's first game in charge. Despite errors at the back and in goal, Chelsea power past the Cottagers to win 3-2, courtesy of goals from Joao Pedro, Cole Palmer and new signing Morgan Rogers. Their opponents tonight, Luton, have gotten off to a similarly impressive start this season under Jack Wilshere. That has continued from where they left off after a fantastic end to last season. They hammered Gillingham in the first round of this competition before beating Reading on the opening day day of the League One campaign. Last time out, they only managed to draw against Notts County, but will be hoping for an upset tonight against Chelsea. Xabi Alonso makes 5 changes from the win at Craven Cottage on Monday. Penders, Chavaria, Barco and Welbeck all come into the side in place of Sanchez, Colwell, Hatto and Joao Pedro. Jack Wilshere makes 6 changes of his own after the Notts County draw. Naismith, Anderson, Jones, Richards, Clark and Wells all miss out as Ashby, Odafin, Johnson, Benaga, Kodja and Marshall all start. So for Chelsea, it's Mike Penders in goal, a back 4 of Chavaria, Lacroix, Actionpong and Gusto, midfield 2 of James and Barco with Rogers, Palmer and Esteval supporting Danny Welbeck up top. As for Luton, it's Keeley in goal, a back 4 of Ashby, Odafin, Johnston and Johnson, midfield 2 of Benaga and Walsh with Lawrence, Palmer and Kodja supporting Marshall through the middle. Chelsea host Luton at Stamford Bridge in the second round of the EFL Cup at 7:30 this evening. The Blues got their season up and running against Fulham last time out in Xabi Alonso's first game in charge. Despite errors at the back and in goal, Chelsea power past the Cottagers to win 3-2, courtesy of goals from Joao Pedro, Cole Palmer and new signing Morgan Rogers. Their opponents tonight, Luton, have gotten off to a similarly impressive start this season under Jack Wilshere. The Hatters have continued from where they left off after a fantastic end to last season. They hammered Gillingham in the first round of this competition before beating Reading on the opening day of the League One campaign. Last time out, they only managed to draw against Notts County, but will be hoping for an upset tonight against Chelsea. Xabi Alonso makes 5 changes from the win at Craven Cottage on Monday. Penders, Chavaria, Barco and Welbeck all come into the side in place of Sanchez, Colwell, Hatto and Joao Pedro. Jack Wilshere makes 6 changes of his own after the Notts County draw. Naismith, Anderson, Jones, Richards, Clark and Wells all miss out as Ashby, Odafin, Johnson, Benaga, Kodja and Marshall all start. So for Chelsea, it's Mike Penders in goal, a back 4 of Chavaria, Lacroix, Actionpong and Gusto, midfield 2 of James and Barco with Rogers, Palmer and Esteval supporting Danny Welbeck up top. As for Luton, it's Keeley in goal, a back 4 of Ashby, Odafin, Johnston and Johnson, midfield 2 of Benaga and Walsh with Lawrence, Palmer and Kodja supporting Marshall through the middle. Well, it's a very warm welcome to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this EFL Cup second round tie between Chelsea and Luton at Stamford Bridge. The two sides just going through their final preparations in the huddle before this one gets underway in West London. It's Premier League versus League One opposition. It's the first time Chelsea have been involved in the second round of the EFL Cup in quite some time. Obviously no European football for the Blues this campaign, but they'll be hoping for a strong showing tonight against Jack Wilshere's Luton Town. The Xabi Alonso era got off to a brilliant start on Monday night. They beat fellow West Londoners Fulham by 3-2, and they'll be hoping to avoid defeat tonight in what would be an embarrassing fashion against third-tier opposition. I'll run you through the lineups in a moment or so. It looks as though it'll be the home side to get us underway this evening, with Cole Palmer getting us set. And we are indeed underway, and it'll be Palmer all the way back to Mike Penders who will get us underway. Myself, Luke Ashurst, alongside me Nathan Wastel, to take you through all the action of the 90 minutes. Plenty of changes made by both managers. 5 by Xabi Alonso from the win against Fulham, 6 by Jack Wilshere after the draw against Notts County, and a number of debuts handed out as well by Xabi Alonso. And this one, Mike Penders starts for the first time in goal for his new club, having signed last summer from Genk in Belgium before spending the season on loan at Strasbourg. There's also a first start for Pep Chavaria, Valentin Barco and Danny Welbeck, all of whom signed this summer. Danny Welbeck, of course, from Brighton, Valentin Barco from Strasbourg, and Pep Chavaria, the 28-year-old Spaniard from Rayo Vallecano. Those 4 players, along with Esteval, the 5 changes made by Xabi Alonso coming into this one after the Fulham victory. So it's Penders, Chavaria, Barco, Esteval and Welbeck into the side, and they replace Sanchez, Colwell, Hatto and Joao Pedro. Jack Wilshere makes 6 changes of his own after the Notts County draw. Naismith, Anderson, Jones, Richards, Clark and Wells all miss out. As it's Ashby, Johnson, Odafin, Benaga, Codger and Marshall that come in to the side. I'll run you through the lineups in a moment or so. SFL's just made a decent move down the far side for Chelsea to start this one, but has been thwarted in the end by Benedict Benaga, and that'll be a goal kick in the end for the Hatters. Hodge bouncing around in the midfield before Malo Gusto can launch long and get the ball clear. Esteval then will gather in midfield and then cleared away well by Odafin. Here's Chavaria getting his first touches of the evening. Came off the bench against Fulham last time out, but starts for the first time tonight on the left-hand side of what is, I can confirm, a back four. Questions as to whether Xabi Alonso would employ his usual back three or would move to a back four with the changes made tonight. It is indeed a back four. And so a slight tweak in system from Monday night as Morgan Rogers, the star of the show at Craven Cottage, skips away from a couple, tries to link up now with Valentin Barco and passes over hits and intercepted well by Benedict Benaga. Here it is with Emilio Lawrence trying to move away from Malo Gusto, but challenged well by the Frenchman Achampong. Here's it off to Gusto. Here's Barco now down this near side for Chavaria, held up well by Gideon Codger. Chavaria back to Lacroix. Patient play this from Chelsea. No need to force the issue in the early stages of this one. Ball now on the feet of Pep Chavaria once again. Gesture that he wants somebody running beyond. Didn't get that runner, so moving inside to Barco. Barco into Rogers, will feed Palmer, who goes for goal at a tight angle into the side netting of Josh Keeley's net, and out of play for a goal kick. Gives me a chance to run you through the lineups in full. For Chelsea, it's Penders in goal, back four of Chavaria, Lacroix, Achampong and Gusto. James and Barco the midfield too, with Rogers, Palmer and Esteval supporting Danny Welbeck through the middle. For Luton, it's Keeley in goal, back four of Ashby, Odafin, Johnston and Johnson. Midfield two of Benaga and Walsh, with Lawrence, Palmer and Codger supporting Marshall through the middle. A reminder that there are a few European games being played this evening. Motherwell currently trailing Freiburg by 4-1, 7-2 on aggregate, and that one Motherwell down to 10. Rangers have been taken to penalties by Jablonek of the Czech Republic, having fallen to defeat by 1-0 this evening in the Czech Republic. That tie finishing 1-1 on aggregate. Rangers currently 3-2 up on penalties. There is also another EFL Cup tie being played this evening as well. It's Fulham host Wimbledon at Craven Cottage. That game kicking off at 8 o'clock this evening. I'll try and keep you updated with all the games going on across Europe and the EFL Cup this evening, but the focus will remain on this game between Chelsea and Luton. To be expected, Chelsea have dominated possession in the opening 5 minutes and have penned Luton back deep inside their own defensive half. 5 minutes gone, independent off-tube shooter-based commentary. Chelsea 0, Luton 0. As Liam Walsh will look to try and play a ball in behind for Callum Marshall, who scored on Saturday to level things against Notts County. Did well initially there, Marshall, but he's going to have a tough night up against Maxence Lacroix. It has to be said, there's not going to be much running on beyond the Frenchman, I don't think. He's certainly going to have to be clever in the way he holds up the ball, the Northern Irishman. As here is Lacroix now. Ball onto the near side for Chavaria. Oh, that's a great ball forward to Morgan Rogers. Almost looked too good to be true, and indeed it was. Caught offside the former Villa man. And that's going to be a free kick for the Blues. We'll just see a replay of it now. Yeah, in fact, it's tighter than I thought initially. He gets Harrison Ashby backpedaling, and in the end, he's just caught offside, the Englishman, but only just. Ashby going a little bit earlier than the rest of his teammates, along what now looks to be a back five, and yeah, it doesn't quite work out for Morgan Rogers. Gusto now far side for Chelsea. We'll play the ball down the line to Esteval. Puts it on his left boot. Is held up well in the end by Emilio Lawrence, on loan from Manchester City. Oh, that's lovely footwork from Liam Walsh to take the ball away from his man and open up the space. Here's Callum Marshall. Nice ball down the near side for Ashby. And here comes Harrison Ashby driving forward. Early right-footed ball looking towards Codger. Is defended well in the end by Lacroix at the near post. Now to play for a throw on the near side. But Bright moved that from Luton to try and force the issue down the near side. Really good attacking play from the visitors, and in the end the ball into the box wasn't bad, but dealt with relatively comfortably at the near post by Maxence Lacroix. Long throw to be swung in though by Harrison Ashby. The fullback will fire towards the near post, flicked on by George Johnston. The strike will come in from distance from Benedict Benaga, but he's caught that horribly wrong, number 31, and that's spooned straight up play, not for a goal kick, but for a throw-in down the near side. And that was, not great from Benaga, who came off the bench at the weekend against Notts County, and I thought played pretty well. The youngster, still only 18 years of age, making his, if I'm not mistaken, his first start for Luton Town senior team this evening. Benedict Benaga, born in 2007, which makes me feel quite old, as someone born in 2006, as he did indeed start in the game against Gillingham, Benaga, in the EFL Cup, so only his second start for the Hatters. Ball now at the feet of Josh Keeley, for Jack Wilshere's men. Ashby now down the near side will try and return the ball back towards Gideon Codger. He's trying to run beyond Pep Chavaria. Dealt with well though by the Spaniards. He'll just knock it back to Lacroix. Lacroix now into Reece James in his newfound central midfield position, in the absence of Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo, we know, is out through injury, picked up a bit of a knock, didn't feature against Fulham either, but Enzo Fernandez, who did come off the bench against Fulham on Monday, not even on the bench tonight, and much to make of that, potentially on his way out of Chelsea, having supposedly agreed to join Manchester City. Ball now back at the feet of Josh Acheampong. Acheampong into Palmer. Palmer into Rogers. Welbeck into Rogers again. There was a chance. And there was a brilliant challenge on recovery from Joe Johnson. Brilliant from the 20-year-old. Luton carved open, not from any sort of error of their own, but just brilliant football from Chelsea. And Morgan Rogers, with his first touch, just couldn't quite keep the ball away from Joe Johnson. And the Luton Town Academy graduate does brilliantly well to poke the ball away from the British record transfer signing. And it remains 0-0. Chance now though from the corner. Esteval short to Palmer. Back to Esteval looking towards Gusto. Massively overhit and out of play for a goal kick. 10 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Bright start though from both these two sides. Luton have kept Chelsea honest, but have had to do a fair bit of defending throughout this this opening 10. And yeah, really impressive play that from Rogers, Welbeck and Palmer. Here is Palmer again after Chelsea won the ball high up the field. Skips away from Liam Walsh. Then does well to link up with Esteval. Palmer, chance to make it 1-0, saved by Keeley. Palmer on the rebound, saved by Keeley again, but brilliant from Cole Palmer. Lovely 1-2 between himself and Esteval to open up the space. And after playing some of his best football in a Chelsea shirt on Monday, continues in the starting lineup tonight. And oh, that's sumptuous from Cole Palmer. Ought to have made it 1-0 to Chelsea. Esteval playing his part in the move. Keeley keeping Palmer out not once but twice. Can he do it a third time as this corner comes in? Esteval with his left boot will whip in this in-swinger from the far side. In fact, he won't whip it in. A laid off to Palmer. Palmer will open up on his left boot. Palmer with the strike towards the near post. Comfortably wide of the target in the end. And out of play for a goal kick. Really bright start this from Chelsea. Many have said that they were back to their best against Fulham on Monday night. I don't think that's too far. That's too far away from the truth, to be honest. They were absolutely fantastic, and Fulham played their part in what was a brilliant game of football. So far in this one, it's mostly been Chelsea, however, as Estefao does well to win the ball off of Benedict Banaga. Barco now trying to move away from his man, and Marshall slayed off to Chavaria. Into Barco once more. Chavaria down the near side, feeds Rogers. Rogers turns away from Casey Palmer, straight towards goal is blocked. Ball clearance from Emilio Lawrence allows Reece James to gather possession. Feeds Gusto far side. Achampong just outside the centre circle, will move square to Lacroix. Lacroix down this near side, finds Chavaria. Chavaria now into Maxence Lacroix. Fired over to Gusto, who will slow things down as he lays it off to Palmer. Palmer then pulled back there by Liam Walsh, and that's going to be a free kick to the home side. Walsh trying to delay Palmer as much as possible there, but in the end, the England international having the last laugh. Palmer now across to Lacroix on this near side. Down the line for Chavaria. Into Rogers. Rogers to Barco. Back to Rogers once more. Into Barco. Barco turns it round the corner. Rogers can't get there ahead of Harrison Ashby, but he will get there ahead of Odafin. And will chip one to the back post. Esteval will keep it moving as he recycles possession well into Gusto. Gusto into Esteval once more. Wants to swing the ball into the box, instead will lay it off to James. James now over to Chavaria on this near side. Down the line for Rogers. Rogers into Barco. Barco now to Welbeck. Welbeck onto this near side for Chavaria. Chavaria left-footed ball towards the back post, headed away well by Banaga. Strike comes in on the right boot of Gusto, but that's comfortably over the crossbar and out of play for a goal kick. Really disappointing that from Malo Gusto as he rushes his efforts and fires over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. And a chance for Josh Keeley just to slow it down for a moment. His side have been on the back foot for the last 5 minutes or so. Just as I say that, long ball launched forward by Hakeem Odafin. Straight to the feet of Mike Penders, and Chelsea just come straight back at him. Here's Gusto, just inside his own half. Lays it off to Valentin Barco. Barco square to Reece James. Down the line on this near side for Morgan Rogers. Rogers back to Reece James, opens his body up and will move it inside the centre circle for Barco. Barco now onto the far side for Palmer. Palmer down the line for Esteval. Gusto thought about making the run inside, but Esteval will cut in on his left boot. Barco was tucked in narrow. Instead he'll flick it on towards Welbeck, who will divert towards goal. But from 18 yards out, it was going to take some header to beat Josh Keeley from that range. And Danny Welbeck on debut, not straight into the hands of the 23-year-old shot stopper. Walsh though has had his pocket picked. Palmer though will lay it off to Welbeck. His strike towards goal blocked well by Hakeem Odafin. And Luton can get clear and survive a bit of a scare there. Far too casual from Liam Walsh inside the penalty area, who we know is real top quality in possession for Luton Town. But on that occasion, just a bit too slow and had the ball pinched away from him. Rogers, oh brilliant, skips away from Codger, tries to play the ball in behind towards Chavaria. Intercepted well by Casey Palmer. Barco now will lay it off to Cole Palmer. That's not going to get confusing this evening. Palmer onto this near side for Rogers. One-on-one with Ashby, will play the ball down the line for Pep Chavaria, who made the underlapping run, but it's an overhit pass and straight out of play for a goal kick. And a beautiful time for me to bring in my co-commentator Nathan Wastel. And Nathan, the game started as we'd expected. Chelsea on top, controlling. The camera just panned to Jack Wilson, who looked quite frustrated. What have Luton got to do to stop this from just being a game of just constant backs against the wall?
Yeah, it's one of them for me where it's, you know, you're very heavy underdogs, of course. You've scored 9 goals in 3 games, so you know where the goal is. This is more of a step up in calibre, but I just think sitting back and trying to defend for 90 minutes, it's not really the action that's going to work. I know it just follows straight into penalties, but you're just going to get bombarded until the pressure eventually cracks. I think for me, they need to take it to Chelsea, be a bit braver on the ball and try and push forward at any sort of opportunity. At the minute, it's not really happening. Chelsea really flexing the quality. We've seen a lot of Premier League teams not really rotating. Of course, they only played 3 days ago, Chelsea, and they're putting out Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer. So I'd like to see Luton to be a bit braver and try and push up the field a little bit more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's been good to see teams, particularly in the Premier League, choosing not to rotate a huge amount, almost using these EFL Cup games, rightly or wrongly, as a way for some of the star players to get a bit of extra fitness. And so, yeah, it's been really good to see. The big boys take some of the underdogs a bit more seriously. Here's Esteval now over on the far side for Chelsea. Poor pass trying to lay it off to Reece James, but he gets away with it. So Callum Marshall can't make the interception. Barco now. Down this near side feeds Chavaria. Chavaria thought about swinging the ball into the box. Instead, we'll go back to Barco. Barco now into Esteval. Trying to skip away from Casey Palmer. Was he caught there? Yes, he was. That's a late challenge that comes in from Callum Marshall. Esteval left in a bit of a heap after the tackle. There's a bit of a concern from his Chelsea teammates as he holds onto his ankle. Let's have a look at the replay. He skips away from Palmer, lays it off, and yeah, I mean, it's theatrical from Esteval, but he is caught by Callum Marshall. He just kicks through onto his ankle. Now, I think you know what I'm about to say here, Nathan, but surely the argument is if Esteval wears some proper shin pads, that doesn't hurt as much. Yeah,
I thought he got trodden on, so I thought it'd be a bit more, but it was more of just a jab out at the bottom of his shin, which I thought wasn't as bad. But what is as bad is the fact that it's probably going to be Reece James standing over this free kick, and alongside him is Cole Palmer. It's not a bad artillery to have for a free kick, is it? So I think they're going to be in maybe just a spot of bother here, Keeley and co.
I will say, by the way, to not have Danny Welbeck even considered for this free kick is pretty impressive, given how good he is from set pieces. We saw last season, I think he's got a couple for Brighton from free kicks as Palmer will laid off to Reece James. Great save, Josh Keeley. Brilliant stop from Luton shot stopper. That is brilliant goalkeeping. Not only made the save, but palmed it away from danger. Cole Palmer deceiving everybody as he stepped up to take it, laid it off to Reece James to give a better angle. Strikes it well enough, Reece James, but forces Josh Keeley into a top stop.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's fantastic. What he has on his side is the height it's at, but he's had to get across. It was flicked by Palmer just centrally, which allowed him to go for that far corner rather than wrap it. He was maybe trying to wrong foot the keeper, which is the most impressive thing, the fact that he was alert to that. And it was a good save down to his left.
Yeah, it really was. Here come the home side once again, trying to move the ball forward down this near side. Chavaria into Reece James, lays it off to Lacroix. Lacroix now over onto the far side for Gusto. Gusto floated ball in towards Welbeck, over the head of the former England international though. And in the end, headed out of play by Harrison Ashby on this near side for a corner. Just under 20 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Chelsea really starting to flex their muscles now and cause some issues. But Josh Keeley's been up to the task so far. Let's have a look at this replay. This will be a good angle for it. It's always bending towards him. I take your point. But there were bodies in there in blue shirts ready to tap it in, and Keeley does well to focus and tap it away from danger. Corner taken short by Rogers into Reece James. Attempted flick on towards Esteval, cleared away well. Maybe counter-attack here for Luton. Marshall, ball forward towards Banaga, who I tell you now is not slow. He is not slow at all, but credit where credit's due to Pep Chavaria on debut, who's done brilliantly well to get there ahead of the man and just knock it back to Mike Penders.
Yeah, he's done the sensible thing, hasn't he? Because they were light on numbers, but there it is. There's a bit of an opening for Luton that you think that's how they're going to play their game. When there's a corner, if the outball's a little better, they might have a little more joy.
Ball in behind, looking towards Morgan Rogers. Unconvincing from Harrison Ashby as he looks to try and nod it back towards Josh Keeley. In the end, it will bounce through to the shot stopper. Harrison Ashby, 24 years of age, still contracted at Newcastle United on loan at Luton Town this season. Spent the second half of the last campaign on loan at Bradford City. Almost saw the Bantams promoted to the Championship at the first time of asking. But they still find themselves in League One. And of course, Harrison Ashby will more than likely have to play against them this season, should he still be at Luton. They face Bradford on the 19th of September, so not too long. I say not too long. This is unbelievable, Nathan. Luton faced Bradford on the 19th of September on breakoff, as that's a decent ball towards Morgan Rogers running in behind, who's just pulled up as he was trying to chase after that, and he's left himself in a bit of a heap as Morgan Rogers not overly happy. But going back to my point, Luton faced Bradford on the 19th of September, and you think, well, that's not too long. After this game, they will face Mansfield, Stockport, Leyton Orient and Stevenage, all before Bradford on the 19th of September. That's 4 games between the 27th of August and the 19th of September.
It's a relentless fixture list in the EFL, isn't it? It's thick and heavy. There's so many games. It's almost unfair, isn't it? The Premier League has less games, of course, you add in Europe, but they have bigger squads, whereas the EFL have smaller squads and more games. It's not a fair balance in that sense. It's just hot and relentless. They'll want to add a third-round Carabao Cup tie into the mix of that, I'm sure, but there will be a big ask.
Yeah, it certainly will be. They've defended pretty well so far in this one. They haven't looked brilliant defensively at the start of this season, it has to be said. Obviously conceded 3 against Reading, 2 against Notts County in their opening 2 League One fixtures. But going forward, they've been strong. Scored 4 against Reading, 2 against Notts County, so 6 in their opening 2 league games. And it's something to keep an eye on for Chelsea going forward, but also for Luton defensively as well. How strong can they be? Acheampong in possession for the Blues. We'll lay it off to Lacroix. Ball fired onto this near side now for Morgan Rogers. Placed off to Chavaria. Chavaria into Acheampong now on the edge of the centre circle. Ball down the line for Esteval. Esteval into Lacroix once more. Down this near side for Rogers. Looking to skip away from Ashby. Held up well by the Scotsman initially. And eventually Rogers runs into trouble as he tries to take the ball away from Hakeem Odafin. Only 2 players in the entire picture frame at the moment as Lacroix picks up possession. It's himself and Mike Penders, which shows you the thinking behind this for Luton Town. Well, it's going to be a frustrating evening for Callum Marshall, but it's one of those things he's just going to have to stick with it. I'll bring Nathan in a second because Cole Palmer's driving forward here, but he's challenged well by Liam Walsh. And then Casey Palmer, one of those who you'd argue has got a bit more quality about him in this Luton Town side, gives the ball away far too easily, looking for Emilio Lawrence. Former Chelsea man, Casey Palmer, came through the Blues Academy, but never made a senior appearance for Chelsea. One of many products of Chelsea's great academy. I think there's a ridiculous stat, isn't there? Something that they've got more players in the EFL than any other academy in England at Chelsea. They create a huge number of professional footballers, and many of them reach the very top. Esteval, far side, one-on-one with Benaga. Cuts in on his left boot, strike towards goal, deflected not once but twice. Keeley will do well to prevent the corner there, and he hasn't. That's going to go out of play. That's unfortunate for the shot stopper, but an opportunity now for Chelsea from the corner.
Yeah, I don't want to write anything to fruition and never manifest anything, but the way Luton is set up, sitting back, inviting so much pressure, you just feel like it's a matter of time before Chelsea do hit the back of the net.
Yeah. It does feel like that is the case, doesn't it? Cornsby swung in over on the far side. Let's have a look, see what happens here. Esteval towards the near post. So it's not a great clearance and easily dealt with, and now it's an opportunity for Luton to step out and put the squeeze on Cole Palmer, who will turn along halfway as they had to settle back into that back 5 shape. Esteval now far side, one-on-one with Liam Walsh. Lawrence back now in support. Esteval just inside the penalty area. He's got James and Palmer on the edge of the box in support. Palmer float ball to the back post. Lacroix attempts to head back across goal into the side netting and out of play for a goal kick. A reminder of some of the other games currently going on in the world of football this evening. Available on this service was Freiburg versus Motherwell, but that game has now finished. Freiburg winning by 4-1, so going through 7-2 victors on aggregate against the Scottish side. I think the game in Northern Ireland should have just kicked off. No, not just yet. Larne versus Lincoln Red Imps available on this as that game kicks off at 8 o'clock, so in 4 minutes time. And there's also another EFL Cup game being played this evening and in West London as well. It's going to be Fulham against Wimbledon later on tonight. Both that game along with the LAN game available on this service. I'll break off because here comes Chelsea on the attack once more. Here's Palmer just inside the penalty area, cuts in on his left boot, wants to try and create space, held up well though by Emilio Lawrence. That's brilliant defending from the Manchester City loanee. Acheampong fires the ball over onto the far side for Gusto. Gusto fancies a run at his man here, Joe Johnson. Johnson though holds him up well. Oh, that's brilliant from Johnson, and wins the free kick as well. Top quality from the centre half.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. That reprieves all the pressure. Slightly concerned for them coming forwards. They're on an attack down the right, and it was a loose ball into the centre to Reece James. They look vulnerable for the first time, but he's done exceptionally well there to get across his man. And that just relieves every bit of pressure that Chelsea were trying to mount then by Joe Johnson. It was absolutely brilliant by them. And I think at this point you'd be putting the keeper on it and sending some lads forward. You don't know where it'll fall.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that's exactly what they've done. Long ball sent forward, looking towards Emilio Lawrence. Over his head though, cleared away by Acheampong. Gathered by Bernardo though in midfield. Casey Palmer turns away well from Valentin Bargo into Gideon Codger. He's challenged well, still the chances there though. Marshall turns it around to Palmer. Palmer challenges for it, and it'll just bounce through to Mike Penders, who I think maybe would have been hoping to show his ability a little bit more on Premier League, on Premier League debut, on Chelsea debut this evening. But I suppose when you're making your first team debut for your new side, a quiet evening as a goalkeeper not always the worst thing.
No, it's not. And just to distill into the point you've made is the fact that they've signed Emiliano Martinez from Aston Villa, so he goes further down the pecking order in terms of goalkeepers as well. So you're looking at Robert Sanchez, Martinez, as well as that man Penders, who will be just in behind that as well. So if anything, he might just welcome a few shots on goal.
Yeah, he might well do. Elliot Bell has just frustrated Pep Chavaria there. I'm not entirely sure how. The referee, I think, has done brilliantly well to spot that is absolutely right to be a goal kick. Chavaria being out-muscled by Harrison Ashby, and he got the final touch on that ball, and out of play for a goal kick, which Luton squandered because they've given the ball away. Morgan Rogers edge of the penalty area, turns away from a couple, is eventually challenged really well by Callum Marshall, back doing his defensive duties. He's looked bright, Morgan Rogers, but on a couple of occasions he's been absolutely crowded out on the edge of the box, and play has broken down a few times. Here's Valentin Barco into Pep Chavaria. James now, far side will feed Esteval. Esteval one-on-one with Benaga. Again, Emilio Lawrence does well to get back, but Esteval twisting and turning. Lovely play from him. Chip ball to the back post. Barco's there. Tries to play it across goal. Deflected. And I was going to say out for a corner, but no. It will hold up, and in the end, got to play for a throw-in on the near side. Barco will take quickly back towards halfway where Lacroix will gather. Lacroix will then lay it off to Acheampong, edge of the centre circle. Gusto now. Down the line for Esteval. Esteval looking for options around him, which will lay it off to Maxence Lacroix. Lacroix fired onto the near side for Chavaria. Opens his body. Right-footed ball towards the back post. I think took a bit of a deflection. Did it? No. Says the referee, and out of play for a goal kick. Well, half hour gone at Stamford Bridge. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Chelsea 0, Luton Town 0. It's been all Chelsea so far as you'd expect at the start of this one. But to take us through to half-time, I'm going to hand it over to Nathan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Luke, with a Luton goal kick right on the half-hour mark. I've seen Jack Wilshere in hot discussions. I have a lot to say. Marshall's been pulled there from the goal kick. It's going to be kicked into the Chelsea half. A rare attack for the Hatters, trying to make a lot of himself against the two centre halves. Hasn't been able to do it just yet. And Cole Palmer's going to bring it down in the centre, headed forward. Can they make something work here with Walsh? He's given it away. That's really poor play. When they get it, they need to be better with it, Luton. They haven't been good enough. Valentino, that man Valentino Barco's just given the ball away. That's poor as well. Luton chance to get forward. Marshall over to the far side. It's a rare attack here for Luton. Can they make anything out of it? Kadua over to the left hand side. Might be Harrison Ashby out there. I can't really tell who it is. He's run into problems though, and he's taken his man down, Lawrence. It's really poor play, because when you get into that position you'll have so little opportunity to do it. So when you get it, you've got to pull the trigger with a cross.
Yeah, I thought Emilio Lawrence would do better there. He was really, really dangerous at times against Notts County when he had his run at his man. Don't know whether it's just a lack of confidence confidence from the youngster to take it on with his left boot or have a run at Malo Gusto. In the end, he does neither. And you're absolutely right. Luton have got to take advantage of those opportunities when they get them. So frustrating that from the 20-year-old, but again, he's a player who's shown a lot of promise already in his short Luton Town career, and hopefully from his point of view, the next time he gets the ball in that sort of area, he doesn't make the same mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. One more tie in the second round of the Carabao Cup. It's Fulham versus Wimbledon at Craven Cottage, just getting underway in London, not far from the game we're watching on our screens in Stamford Bridge. You can catch this on the service as well if you're wanting to watch that one, but at the minute we're 0-0 between Chelsea and Luton. Interesting tie so far. Chelsea yet to break through the mould, but a long way to go. It's on the far side now, over on that far side with Marshall flicking it around the corner. That's better from Luton. Move to the near side for Ashby. Chance to get over halfway, a bit of room to roam. There's only 3 lads up with him. He's going to go backwards to keep hold of it with Casey Palmer, and over it goes to Walsh. I do think when they get the ball when it's rare, they need to be better with it. And they're going to try to do that now with Palmer through the gap. It's through to Kadua and around the corner. It's a poor pass, and Penders is going to come out and pick that up all day long. And that's fairly comfortable. I'm going to talk about being better with the ball. It doesn't really feed into the fact with what we've just seen. But the Blues marching forward with Akupom. Moved into Valentin Barco. Over to Gusto on the far side. He's just going to check backwards under a little bit of pressure from Lawrence. And all the way inside it goes to Akupong, and then all the way across to Lecroix. Over to the near side it comes. Morgan Rogers looked to have shaken off that knock he picked up. That's a ball inside. It's a bit of an aimless one. And Johnston's going to put it into the sky. Kadua get there. He's going to be outran by Barco. He's just going to scissor kick it all the way back to Penders, just on the edge of his own box, right to left in the first half. Come Chelsea, the Premier League side, up against Luton Town. Barco, near side it comes. And inside it goes to Barco once again. Cole Palmer centrally in the Luton half. And Reece James to the far side. You don't want to be negative, but you do feel like it may just be coming for Chelsea with Estevao checking inside, up against his man, loses him across the face of the box to the edge, goes right once again. Akupong to Reece James. He does have a good cross on him, but he's moved it all the way over to the near side to Rogers. It's right to left, left to right, and it's over to the left now, and it looks like it's going back to the right to Reece James. Pocket of space, shot comes in, blocked on the edge, and then he's tripped, and that's going to be a free kick to Luton in the end. And you just get a sense, if time ticks on the way it is, and Chelsea, as I say, they're ticking on to look like they're going to score a goal. Well, if they don't, do you think there's an air of maybe a bit of frustration coming in for the Blues?
Maybe, but you look at the bench and you just think, okay, if it's not working out with I don't know, Welbeck up top, João Pedro, Emmanuel Omega can offer. If Barco's the loose in possession, you've got Lavia who can come on in the midfield. If they need another option out wide, Pedro Neto, Jamie Gittins. I don't think there's any need for them to get frustrated. You can see that it's coming sooner rather than later, and they have options as well to who can maybe offer even a little bit more.
Chelsea have it in the centre with Akupong, and switch to the near side, and a erratic ball that Barco can't take down. He's got his foot above his head to get it down, but it's only found the way of a Luton man. Kadua's done well with his body. Chavarria has clattered into the back of him. It's very smartly won with the body, and that's a free kick. And at any point, I think they're halfway inside their own half near side. I'd just be putting the keeper on this and sending everyone forward. Not everyone, of course, but getting the big lads up, and you don't know whether when the head will land. In that sense, just take a risk, but they'll probably end up just going short with it. Just waiting to see what they do with it at the back. They're going to go back to the man in goal with Keeley. Over to the far side come Luton Town. Down the line they go, looking for Marshall. He can't get on it. I do feel for him, he looks slightly isolated up there presently. It's Walsh in the centre. He's going to glide the ball to the near side to Ashby. Need to be better on the ball, need to get bodies in and around Marshall. Casey Palmer, that's a good turn, that's a poor ball, stepped out by Lecroix, gives it away, and it's over to the far side to Lawrence. He's in a pocket of space, he needs to pull the trigger with the cross this time. He's just going to go backwards. It's now Johnson who may just put a ball into the box. Back to Lawrence it goes. Inside, that's a good ball. Chance to get into the box. Pulled across. A man was there at the back post. Is it going to be kept in? It looks like it may have just trickled out. And the referee's given a corner to Luton Town.
Yeah, I think Acheampong, and in fact no, Esteval, was just ran that out of play, showing a little bit of an inexperience there, the 19-year-old. It was really, really good by Benedict Benaga, the 18-year-old, over on that far side, just to cause the issue. Links up well with Emilio Lawrence, who on this occasion doesn't hesitate, although his cross, he's blocked by Esteval. Wins the corner, however, towards the 20-year-old, and a chance for Liam Walsh to swing this one into the box and cause some issues. There's a few behind him there in the Chelsea stand that don't look overly impressed at the way that their side have just defended that move. Let's see how they defend this corner.
Well, it's coming in swing with the right foot to the back post. Penders gets a, Penders just gets a touch on it. Shot comes in low this time for Luton. They'll stay on the attack. It's good play so far. Right hand side. Can they get the ball in deep? They have. Penders has come this time. Oh, he's dropped it as well. There's a bit of a push, and I think the referee, Elliot Bell, will give a free kick, and I do believe he had it in two hands.
Yeah, I think he did. My main concern is the first one. He comes for it and he just gets crowded out. He's jumping backwards, can't get crowded out there. You've got to be strong. You look at the great Chelsea goalkeepers of the past, Cech, Courtois. I hate to try and compare him to those two, but that is how highly regarded he is at Stamford Bridge. And while they would never have been bullied inside the box like that, he's got to be stronger. But they deal with it in the end to Chelsea, and that slight scare is dealt with just about.
Yeah, Benager was with the ball in from the near side. 71% possession for Chelsea, 12 attempts, 4 on target, 2 attempts, none on target for Luton so far. It's Barco to the near side to Lacroix, and moves backwards. They had a hot flourish with 9 shots in the opening 20 minutes, and they've only had the 3 after 20 of Chelsea, so just off the steam ever so slightly. Acheampong over to Lacroix, centrally in the Luton half. Everyone inside the Luton half, minus Penders, number 39. Over to Gusto. And back he goes to Acheampong, and it's right to left, left to right, right to left again, and they come left to Barco. The cause is helped on its way to Chavrier. Inside to Barco. May fancy the shot, goes back to Lacroix. Inside to Barco. Inside it goes. Oh, that's a brilliant ball. Should be 1-0. Oh, he's missed the chance. It's Esteval with the left-footed effort inside the area. He's gone across goal and he's missed the target. He's really pulled that wide, and it should be 1-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, it should be 1-0 to Chelsea. Great ball from Valentin Barco. Haven't really seen that from him when I've watched him in the past. That sort of defence unlocking pass, but that is brilliant from the Argentinian. And Esteval, it's the right kind of finish. He looks to the far corner, but he drags it. He almost sort of rushes the finish, I guess. And yeah, it needed to be better from the Brazilian, but great from Chelsea. You know, yes, they're 2 divisions above, and yes, they're expected to battle Luton this evening, but what I would say is that it can be hard. It can be hard for these top teams to break down a real low block, and that's what they're playing against this evening. And where credit's due to Jack Wilshere, he has organised this low block really quite well. So it could have been very, very difficult for Chelsea to turn up tonight, but no. Xabi Alonso's put out a strong side, albeit with some change in a different formation, and they're playing well. They've just got to be patient, and the killer chance will come in. Almost came there.
Yeah, as Lawrence has nicked it off the toes, and Callum Marshall's gone round the corner, and we talk about that out ball to get on a counter-attack needs to be better. All 3 we've seen have all gone horribly overhit. So if they get that out ball right, Luton, they may just have a bit more success against that Chelsea team that have pushed forward. Rodgers, inside it goes to Chavrier. Helped on its way to Rodgers, who carries on centrally. Ball to the back post, looks decent. To Gusto, he's hit it off his man. Looks at handball. I don't think he could have helped it. Play resumes. Right hand side, ball clipped to the back post. Looking for Danny Welbeck with that. He's trying to put it across. I think Luton may just survive this. They are. It's going to be a corner under the cosh once again. 5 minutes from the break. They just about live to survive another day.
Yeah, Chavaria with the final attempt, blocked well by Gideon Codger, and out of play on this near side for a corner. Nervy times there for the Hatters, who at the minute are just holding on for half time. which you can understand. They've defended so well so far in this first half. Can they make it to the interval at 0-0? We'll have to wait and see. Corner swinging by Reece James towards the back post, headed away well by Hakeem Odafin.
Need to follow it in from Offerden's header. That's a bad first touch out. It's gone to the edge of the box to the man you don't want. Palmer stabs it round. Ball low come across. The Dolphins just about got it away. 6s and 7s stuff, and it has gone out for another Chelsea corner. They're just about getting away with this. They're hanging on to it, Luton, just ever presently. They're throwing bodies in front of it heroically, but they're living on the edge. It's an Esteval corner now on the far side, the number 41, who missed that chance moments ago. Like I said, first meeting of this two in this tournament. Well, the first time they've met since 2023 on the 30th of December, where Chelsea won away at Kenilworth Road 3-2. They've met 3 times competitively, Chelsea winning all 3. They're looking to make it 4 here with Esteval to the back post, headed back and forth from Akupong, and Keeley just gets hold of it. No one really attacking it, and he makes that his in the end. The worry therefore is the fact that that big man was all alone at the back post.
Yeah, he was. Akupong was left on his own. You saw that. It's Joe Johnson that's distracted by Morgan Rogers more than anything. Slightly poor that from Luton, but it was always going to take a really good header from Akupong to do anything with that ball to the back post. So suppose they've risked not allowing, they've risked leaving Akupong free to sort of make the header more difficult.
Yeah, there's a ball on the far side here. It's going to be chased down. Gusto is up against his man. They're battling away on the far side. Which way is it going to go? It should be a throw-in far side for Luton for Benaguer. It is. He's gone backwards. He's done actually exceptionally well. That's a good turn on the 180 to pull from Palmer. Surely a free kick. It is, and it's another one from Johnson, who's battled away. He sees the funny side of it. Cole Palmer knew he was beaten. There's a pullback, and for all that is mighty, I hope Luton put this in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know where the complaint comes from Cole Palmer. He has 2, 3, 4 nibbles of Joe Johnson there as he turns his man. Maybe the final pull is a soft one from Palmer on Johnson, but there was 2 or 3 beforehand that were enough to bring him down in the first place. So I don't think he can have too many complaints, the Englishman. I'm not sure he agrees with me given his reaction afterwards, but yeah, good chances for Liam Walsh to swing this ball into the box. They've not got a small side, Luton. They have got bodies to aim for. Let's hope this is, from a neutral point of view, a decent ball into just to test Chelsea that little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a ball in with the right foot in, swing it from about 30 yards. It looks like a good ball to the back post. Flick comes in, it's on target. It's a decent, relatively easy save for Penders. It was a good header round the corner in the end, and it was a bit of a tricky one to do for a Dauphin. He was sort of behind it. He was sort of backing into it, flicked it over his own head. Just didn't have the direction, but it is a shot on target. That's the positive.
Yeah, they got bodies in between the goal and the ball, didn't they, Chelsea? So even though Odafin won the header, it was always going to be really hard for him to get in the position that he wanted to try and head towards goal. Not a great ball in the end from Liam Walsh. It was sort of floated to the edge of the box. Here comes Chelsea.
Esteval in the box, follows it back for Morgan Rogers off the underside of the bar. That's the closest Chelsea have come in this game. It was a difficult one to take on the full volley, and it was almost 2-2 for the new signing from Villa, and it was very well played by Esteval. Very, very close to taking the lead just before the break with the Blues. They're back on the ball to the far side. Really poor pass from Cole Palmer. Maybe a chance to get away from Benaguer, and he's gone a good run and he's overran it. He's asked too much of himself up against Gusto, and Akupong's come across and just jaunted across and taken it away from that man. And Chelsea come again. 30 seconds away to find out how much additional time Elliot Bell will add on. Chabria on this near side flicks it back inside to Lacroix. Over to the far side to Gusto. Are they going to take the lead just before the break, or are Luton just about going to hang on to this? I don't think there'll be too much additional in this one. Esteval's got around his man far too easy. Oh, he's overrun it. He's got it all wrong in the end, and it will be a goal kick. Benaguer, I'm worried about him because he looked a little bit leggy in that run and he just got breezed past.
Yeah, he did. It's a tricky one. He's had to work really, really hard in this first half. He's got 15 minutes to take a breather. Just see a replay of that Morgan Rogers chance. Oh, the spin he gets on it is superb. It's a great effort. You can see the smile on Danny Welbeck's face. You say, how on earth? But a minute added on at the end of this first half, already played 20 seconds. Really, really good first half of football.
Yeah, it is. Thoroughly enjoyed this half. Can Luton enjoy it more? They're going to get a free kick. Referee says no, and man hits the deck for a player in orange. Ball for Valentino Barco to chase at advantage played. And then it's going to be moved to the near side to Morgan Rogers, trying to finish this first half with a flourish. Oh, it's great feet. And moved to the near side. It's brilliant. Chavrier pick a pass. He's moved it to the edge of the box to Cole Palmer to go for goal. It may have hit the outside of the post and could have taken a deflection. Either way, it's going to be a Chelsea corner. Luton are almost there, but they are hanging on.
Yeah, they are hanging on. Even those last-ditch challenges are hanging on, only just poking the ball away from its intended target. Really good effort from Cole Palmer. In the end, is it George Johnston? No, it's Hakeem Onifin who throws himself at the ball and gets the crucial touch. Last action of the first half will be this corner. Can it be a good one in from Reece James?
Ball's going to be hooked in nonchalantly to the front post. Good header out by that man again. And the referee blows for half-time. It's been a very good first 45 minutes, but nothing to break the deadlock. Interesting second half to come. Half-time, it's Chelsea 0, Luton Town 0.
Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it stole goals, I'm not entirely too sure. Brilliant first half from Xabi Alonso's men, creating chance after chance, but unable to beat George Keeley. Reece James was the first to test a shot stopper. A lovely free kick from him was saved brilliantly by the 23-year-old. Then Esteban was played through one-on-one with Luton Town's goalkeeper, but he flashed wide. Morgan Rogers has hit the crossbar, and ultimately it's Chelsea that have dominated. Half-time in the EFL Cup, Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it stole goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it stole goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it stole goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it stole goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it's still goals, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with a looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers that's come the closest after he hit the crossbar. Esteval with the looping ball into the box and flicked on brilliantly by Rogers. Half-time in the EFL Cup at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea 0, Luton 0, but how it still goes, I've got no idea. Chelsea have absolutely battered the Hatters in that first half, and Xabi Alonso will be very impressed with his side. Reece James was the first to test Josh Keeley from a beautifully hit free kick, saved well by the 23-year-old. Esteval flashed one wide of the post, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but it's Morgan Rogers. It's a very warm welcome back to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this EFL Cup tie at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Luton. The two sides went in at half-time, level at 0-0, but Chelsea dominated the proceedings in that first half and caused Luton no end of problems. No change in the commentary. At half-time, still myself, Luke Ashurst, alongside me, Nathan Wasdale, take you through all the action. But there has been a change made by Jack Wilshere at the interval. Gideon Codger brought off for Jake Richards at half-time. And straight away, Luton have won themselves a corner at the start of this second half. Nathan, they were under the cosh throughout the majority of that first half, but in this second half, they started brightly.
Yes, they have. Straight on the front foot, and I like it. Attacking change as well. Codger might have got injured. They're going to go short. They're giving it away straight away. That's poor.
Ashby, though, gathers 20 yards out. Moves it on to the far side for Liam Walsh. Walsh opens his body, right-footed ball towards the penalty spot. It's headed towards goal by Casey Palmer, but comfortably wide in the end. It's a great ball in that from Liam Walsh. Palmer with the movements to cause the issue. He's definitely onside. And should he do better?
I think so. He's sort of hitting it right on the top of his head, and when you do that, it only goes one way. You always got to be using that forehead. He's in between two or three bodies, including one of his teammates, so it is slightly more difficult. But I'm just looking at that away end, Luton. How many fans have they taken? That have filled out that whole back.
Extra allocation, maybe?
It must be. They've taken thousands there. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it looks really full away end at Stamford Bridge this evening. I'll run you through the lineups in full in a moment or so. But Chelsea now looking to try and play through midfield with Reece James. Leads it off to Valentin Barco. Lofted left-footed ball over the top is massively overhit. Straight behind for a goal kick. So for Chelsea, it's Penders in goal. Back four of Gusto, Acheampong, Lacroix and Chevalier. Midfield two of Barco and James with Esteval, Palmer and Rogers supporting Danny Welbeck through the middle. As for Luton Town, it's Keeley in goal. Back five of Ashby, Odafin, Johnston, Johnson and Benaga. Midfield four of Richards, Walsh, Palmer and Lawrence, with Callum Marshall leading the line for the Hatters. Ball played over the top, looking towards Benedict Benaga down this near side. but overhit once again. Out of play for another goal kick. And well, if you Chelsea, Nathan, in that first half, they hit the post twice, I think. Forced a good save out of Josh Keeley, opened up the defence a number of times. You're just asking for more of the same, but I guess with a bit more luck.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anything needs to change for Chelsea. I think they're still knocking on the door enough to know that it's going to bust wide open eventually. Credit to Luton, they've held their own, they've rode a bit of luck at times, something you have to do as heavy underdogs.
Yeah, they have done. I think, to be honest, you make your own luck, don't you, in these scenarios? And at times they've done what they've thrown bodies in the way. They've caused issues for Chelsea and crowded areas out. But there are times where Chelsea have shown just that bit too much quality. And have been very unfortunate themselves not to find the back of the net. Lofted ball over the top from Palmer towards Rodgers. He's just over the head of the England international, and out of play for a goal kick. Keeley now rolls the ball out in front of him. Will fire a flat right-footed ball towards halfway. Marshall will try and head it round the corner. He's lost out to Achimpong, but Lawrence will gather a hold of possession. He then loses out as well to the 20-year-old, and in the end, Chelsea back in possession once more. Chavaria, far side, down the line to Barco, into Chavaria once more. Will fire a left-footed ball onto Esteval on this near side. He'll then play the ball down the line to Gusto. Gusto, right-footed ball in. Welbeck on debut! There's the opener, and it's Danny Welbeck making his first appearance for his new side, who gives them the lead. Absolute delight for the 35-year-old. Celebrations all around the Chelsea squad, but there's no bigger smile than that on the face of Danny Welbeck. Alonso giving out instructions to Maxon Sakwa. He knows that job's not done, but that is brilliant to see. Danny Welbeck, after his shock move from Brighton and Hove Albion, getting his first Chelsea goal on debut. And it's Chelsea 1, Luton Town 0.
What a ball it was. Spread to the near side. Esteval took it down on the chest. It was an absolute fantastic one. Gusto, first time round the corner. Oh, it's a peach of a cross, it really is. It's begging for the likes of a striker like Danny Welbeck to rise up and head that in. And he gets a goal. And he's the biggest smile in London, that man. That is a delicious ball by Gusto. In between two defenders, Danny Welbeck keeps his eye on it with the forehead. Casey Palmer take no into the back of the net. Long way to go for Luton Town.
Yeah, certainly a long way to go. Worst possible time to score for Luton Town right after the interval. Thought they'd set up well in that first half, but they'd looked a little bit open in this second 45. And I mean, they could look as open or as narrow as they want. That's really, really good from Malo Gusto and from Danny Welbeck. And there's not much that Jack Wilshere's men could have done, I don't think, to prevent that goal. They'll look to try and respond well, though, the Hatters. They'd immediately move down the far side, would have been pegged back all the way to Josh Keeley, who again will go along looking towards Marshall. He loses out. Barco tries to send the ball forward. He then loses out himself. And here comes Casey Palmer driving forward. Palmer away from Barco, away from Lacroix. Still going here, Casey Palmer. It'll be gathered on this near side by Lawrence. Lawrence to Benaga. Back to Lawrence once more. Chelsea have now got bodies back. Benaga, though, away from Esteval. Almost away from Gusto. Good chance comes in from the Frenchman. And the Blues should clear. Welbeck into Rodgers. Rodgers onto this near side for Esteval. Esteval has got options left and right. He'll play through Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer for the second of the game. He's away from his man. Oh, he's held up brilliantly in the end by George Johnston. Still the chances there, though. Palmer trying to turn away from the 27-year-old. Gets towards the byline. Cross towards goal. Out of play for a corner. This game is spicing up brilliantly all of a sudden.
Well, it will. Now that goal's gone in, Luton have to go for it. They have to. And that's going to open up gaps. And Chelsea coming forward. They got back really well, though. Didn't give him a yard to Johnston, the number 6. And then he blocks the cross into the side netting. Didn't give Cole Palmer an inch. That's very good defending 7 minutes into the second half. And now it'll be a Chelsea corner on the near side.
Chelsea corner to be swung in by Esteval. Taken short to Palmer. I've got to stop saying he's about to swing him in because he never does. Just say that Reece James then gives the ball away looking towards Esteval. Does well to challenge Marshall down the near side. And then there's a bit of an argument going on between James and Esteval and Palmer before the ball is put out of play. Austin McVie on the near side, former Aston Villa set-piece coach now of Chelsea. Was caught rather frustrated, I have to say, after on Monday night by a fan in the crowd filming his reaction to the corner seemingly not being swung in. What you a fan of set piece coaches, Nathan? Are they one for you, or is it a little bit over the top? Do you think at times?
Too woke for me, I'm afraid. I don't mind having them, but it's for the training ground, isn't it? It's not for them coming to the edge and being all dramatic with it. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of it. It's too woke for me. Ball forward, that's a poor one from Luton, who have just seemed to have just lost their way ever so slightly, seems to concede it.
Yeah, they have done. They just need to get a hold of the ball, show a bit more composure. It'd be easy to panic and say, oh, we've got to get a goal back in response. But there are mistakes in this Chelsea side, even without Robert Sanchez in between the sticks, as Palmer. Oh, that's brilliant skill. He skipped away from Esteban. Gusto there, Casey Palmer. And here will come stepping down this near side. The referee's pulled it back for a free kick from the challenge of Gusto. I'm not entirely sure why he didn't continue the advantage. Palmer, I think, a little bit frustrated with that as he tries to get involved in play. Jack Wilshere not overly happy, and now they've given the ball away, Luton. Didn't see how they gave it away. We're too busy seeing pictures of Wilshere on the near side, but Palmer now will check the ball into the box. Rogers there challenging. Free kick given for the challenge on I think that was Odafin, who's hit the deck, but really messy, and I think that's messy all from the referee's doing. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, Palmer just gives the ball away to Palmer, ironically. Just lapsing concentration.
Yeah, big time, and it all came from that referee pulling back the advantage. I think there would have been pelters at him if they conceded there, but to be frank, it was all down to Luton's Palmer. Casey Palmer, it was a poor one, a short one as well. I just think at this point, just get it in the box. I just don't understand teams trying to play it out from the back against a team like Chelsea in the Premier League. There's 2 leagues between you. Just get it in the box and it might just fall your way.
Yeah, they've got a brilliant record against lower league opposition in the EFL Cup, Chelsea, since the 09-10 season. They've faced teams in a lower division 19 times, and on all 19 occasions, they've made it through during the 90 minutes. A reminder that if this game does finish as a draw, as unlikely as that may seem right now, we will head straight to penalties. We'll avoid extra time, unlike in our game earlier that me and Nathan covered in the Europa Conference League qualifiers, when Rangers were knocked out against Jagiellonia on penalties. A special card of the evening is handed out. It's gone the way of Joe Johnson, the 20-year-old centre-half. Estelle broken forward there, and I thought Joe Johnson had done brilliantly to win the ball back off of him. Let's have a look at the replay. He pokes the ball away. I suppose the argument of referee Elliot Bell will be he did have a hand on his shoulder as he hit the deck and has probably pulled him back in the process.
Yeah, I think he's pulled his top and then pulled it into a good tackle, so the foul presumed just before. I think yellow card maybe a little bit harsh, but
second of the game, isn't it?
It is. It's a totting up process, and there's always more in a second half, of course. By the way, Emile Smith-Rowe has given Fulham the lead just for the break at home to Wimbledon.
Yeah, big goal there, as Fulham, I think we're being held pretty comfortably by Wimbledon in that one. Prior to that Smith-Rowe goal, Barcelona have also taken the lead at home against Athletic Bilbao. Here is Lacroix now. Ball forward looking towards Palmer, brilliantly intercepted by Hakeem Odafin. And then Walsh will turn it around the corner for Harrison Ashby. Here's Casey Palmer. Slows things down for the moment before feeding. He's been beaten time and time again by Benedict Benaga down this near side.
Yeah, you can be good on the ball all you want, but if your end product with the crossing isn't there, and we haven't seen his shots on point either, and then he's getting breezed past defensively, yeah, you just get the sense that Xabi Alonso may look at that, maybe just chop back to the formation we saw against Fulham going forward, because he can't be happy with what he's seeing.
No, he can't be happy with Esteval, but I think he can be happy with the way his side have played so far. Reece James now, ball onto the near side for Malo Gusto. Back into Reece James, we'll lay it off to Cole Palmer under a bit of pressure from Liam Walsh. We'll go back to James. Palmer now to Acheampong. Square to Valentin Barco. Barco across to Lacroix. Back into the number 4 again. Here is Malo Gusto. That's weak ball forward, easily cut out by Liam Walsh, and then Welbeck back doing his defensive duties, will poke the ball away from the midfielder. Really good that. Ansel Mina spent last season, or a large part of last season, on loan at Borussia Dortmund before being recalled back and going on loan to Strasbourg. And that was a bit of a controversial move amongst Chelsea supporters. 16-year-old Reggie Watson as well also on the bench, the central midfielder, who, if I'm not mistaken, is yet to make an appearance for Chelsea's first team. Indeed, he is, so it will be a debut for him should he come on. There's obviously also the likes of Robert Sanchez, Uriel Hato, Romeo Lavia, Pedro Neto, Jamie Gittins, Joao Pedro, and Emmanuel Omega too, the former Strasbourg centre-forward, who again is also yet to make his debut for his new side, as Danny Welbeck's played in behind, straight towards goal. Wow, that's gone horribly wide of the post. Obviously got his goal this evening, Danny Welbeck, looking for his second. He's just dragged that, hasn't he, the former Brighton man, and that is comfortably wide of the post, but good play from Cole Palmer on the half turn.
Yeah, he's feeling himself though, isn't he, after that goal? I mean, it's very far wide in the end. It's curled very much away. It's a good run though. He's found a lot of space, and well done by Palmer. Oh yeah, that angle's not great, is it? It's comfortably wide. He's very much dragged it, but to get himself the space he has is very good. That should be a foul against the Luton man for climbing against Lacroix. Oh, it's not been given. It's going to be a throw-in. Far side Chelsea. Elliot Bell didn't see anything in that, but you just feel now the deadlock's been broken, that the floodgates will open.
Yeah, that could potentially be the case. If you look towards Luton's bench, obviously they've already brought Jake Richards on at half-time. James Shea, the backup goalkeeper, they've still got Harry Fox, Christian Chigozie, Isaiah Jones, Mads Anderson, Carl Naismith, Devante Cole and Naki Wells, all as options to bring off the bench. Obviously, Naki Wells and Devante Cole, the two obvious goal scorers, if they do choose to go for it later on in the game. On break off, great ball into the box is dealt with brilliantly though by Luton. Here comes Casey Palmer driving forward away initially from Reece James. Rogers though back doing the dirty work, and brilliant defending from Morgan Rogers sees Chelsea back in possession. And now we're gone at Stamford Bridge, independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Chelsea 1, Luton Town 0. Easy for me to say. Danny Welbeck, the difference between the two sides as things stand. As here comes Estefao driving forward, away from one, away from two, then he hacks down his man on the edge of the box as a loose touch sees the ball bounce away, and that'll be a free kick for Luton and a chance for them to slow possession down a little bit. Change now being readied by Jack Wilshere on this near side. Harry Fox, the 17-year-old defender, ready to come on. On he comes for, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and indeed I'm not, his first appearance of the season. Played a couple of times in the EFL Trophy, in fact 3 times last season in the EFL Trophy for Luton, but making his first appearance of the season tonight. On he comes for Emilio Lawrence, and Isaiah Jones is going to come on for Benedict Benaga. So nice to see the 17-year-old get some minutes against Chelsea. It looks so he's potentially stepped into midfield where Lawrence was playing, and then Isaiah Jones will naturally slot in at wing-back ahead of Benedict Benaga, who I thought was impressive in that first half.
Yeah, I think so. Pick of very little that were impressive in the first half. I think Luton still are far too negative in this performance. They've really lost their way since the goal. I thought they'd open up a bit more, maybe go for it since being a goal down, because they have to, whereas it's been quite a conservative one, and maybe Chelsea have not let them play, but it's just been quite poor for me from Luton, who have slightly held their own, but they've definitely lost their way, and going forward wise it's been really poor in the second half. I'd like them to prove me wrong going forward though.
I mean, the one thing I would say to that is, I mean, they're not playing Naki Wells, he's their starting striker, he's on the bench. There's no Jordan Clark, he's going to be out for a few weeks now with a broken jaw after a really nasty head collision at the weekend against Notts County. Billy Mitchell wasn't picked to feature in the squad. There are a few others as well that I look to towards Luton in Luton's squad that could have maybe offered something going forward, who are not available this evening. I'll break off because that's not a bad ball in. Looking towards Callum Marshall, cleared away by Achimpong. Still the chances there though. Jones near side away from Estevao. Isaiah Jones with the strike. I don't mind it from the former Middlesbrough man, but it's wider than near post. Now to play for a goal kick. Again, poor from Estevao defensively. Malo Gusto stands up well. Isaiah Jones pulls the trigger early, just gets it wrong going towards the near post. But yeah, I think ultimately Luton may well look at this. Look, the result is just, the outcome is the same no matter what, whether they lose 1-0, 3-0, 5-0 against this Chelsea side. The outcome is still the same, and they're still out of the EFL Cup, but I think there'll be plenty more positives to take for Jack Wilshere if his side loses game 1-0 than if his side go on to lose 5-0. I'll bring Nathan in a second, because here comes Chelsea looking to try and make it 2-0. That's an attempted ball forward towards Esteval, which has been read well by Isaiah Jones. Then the pass back to him by Fox is poor, and Esteval can get a hold of possession. Lovely flick round the corner for Palmer. Held up really quite nicely there by Harry Fox, but he'll move it to Gusto. Gusto now to Reece James. Back to Gusto once more. Palmer. Patient play this from Chelsea. Palmer floated ball in towards the penalty area, headed up into the air by Johnston. Then Casey Palmer will challenge. Cole Palmer with the effort, just wide of the post. He can't believe he's not found the back of the net. The arrow is arrowing towards the back, past Josh Keeley, but out of play for a goal kick, and another big opportunity for Chelsea.
Yeah, they've hit the bar. It's not a bad attempt. It's clipped the top of the bar. It's a brilliant attempt by Cole Palmer. First time, laid down, opened the body and wrapped it as hard as he could. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's kissed the bar on the way up. Not a bad attempt at all. And who's looking on but the man that left him at home for the World Cup in Thomas Tuchel? Is he going to be impressed with what he's seen so far? That was not a bad attempt at all. Yeah, I think it's all up to Chelsea now to go and kill this game once and for all, because they look like a wounded animal at the minute, Luton. They're very much down and out. They're only down by a goal, which is interesting to me that they're sticking with the same parking the bus. I think they should push up and try and go for this, because like you say, there's no difference between a 1-0 loss and a 5-0 loss at this point. I think they should just go for this.
Fair enough. I think we may have slightly differing views as someone who's seen Luton concede some really, really sloppy goals this season. I think if they can keep this at 1 goal, then plenty of positives to take going into future League One fixtures. But here comes Cole Palmer trying to change that for Chelsea. Lays it off to Reece James, into Malo Gusto. Gusto now onto this near side for Esteval. Esteval into Palmer once more. Oh, that's a lovely flick from Esteval to try and keep the move going, but it's just out of play for a goal kick. He is a joy to watch. He might be a manager's nightmare because he just tries things constantly and it doesn't really track back, doesn't work hard defensively. But from a neutral's point of view, going forward, there's not many that I think are better to watch than Esteval.
Yeah, the flares and the flicks. It's definitely fun to watch. That's for sure. We're talking about end product, but the balling wasn't too bad. He may just run his race. Pedro Neto's on the side, Lavia and Hato. Three not too bad as substitutions, is it? They're not letting up. It looks like Xabi Alonso wants to double his intake, that's for sure.
Here it is now on this near side with Joe Johnson driving forward into Chelsea territory. We'll play the ball down the near side for Isaiah Jones. He wants to run at Malo Gusto, and he'll skip away from Malo Gusto. In fact, that's a great bit of play there from Isaiah Jones. Leads off to Palmer, oh, just wide of the post. He'll be desperate for a goal this evening, Casey Palmer. A product of the Chelsea Academy, the famous Chelsea Academy, never made a senior appearance for the Blues.
Oh, he caught that well.
Oh, he caught it brilliantly. And only just wide of Mike Pender's goal, and he was left stricken. The Belgian goalkeeper nowhere near it. How unfortunate for Casey Palmer. He'll not strike one better this evening.
Oh, it was beautiful. Punch right through it. Hit the bottom of the stanchion into the side netting. Wasn't a million miles away at all. Reece James has run his race. He will give the armband up. He's kept things ticking over in the midfield. Kept himself slightly busy, of course. Only played 3 days ago. This Chelsea side, having the Hato comes on. Is it a change in formation? Not quite sure. Morgan Rogers makes way, the number 17 himself. He's had a stellar evening himself. That jinxing run in the first half, that solo run was absolutely fantastic. You like to think Neto's going to go to that wing position. And it looks like Malo Gusto comes off for Lavia.
Yeah, so not a change in formation. I suppose Lavia is on for James, isn't he, really? Ignoring the TV graphics, Lavia will go into midfield alongside Valentin Barco. Uriel Hato will move in at fullback where Malo Gusto has played this evening. And then we'll see Pedro Neto come out wide, unless I'm completely mistaken and Xabi Alonso has moved to a back three, but I don't think he has. I think I'm safe in assuming it remains back four, but we'll see if that changes as the game goes on. I think positive for Chelsea to take is that this back four has worked tonight. Yes, against League One opposition, but I don't know what you think, Nathan. I don't think they've looked frail. I don't think they've looked like a side playing a new system, as Isaiah Jones has almost been set free down the near side, but the pass is slightly overhit and he can't keep it in. I think ultimately you look at the way Chelsea have played, they've looked settled. At times they've been breached, but that's been down to some good play from Luton more than anything, and I think actually this shows that the formation is viable.
Yeah, I think so. It was interesting how they were going to set up, whether that three at the back was just for Premier League purposes. I wasn't sure what Xabi Alonso was going to do. I don't think many did. But he's gone, relatively back to a back four, what we've seen from Chelsea, and it has worked well, to be frank. Reece James playing in that predominantly more midfield-esque role, and it's been good. I tell you what, Chelsea are a very fun team to watch.
They are. Neto now on the byline, trying to cut it back towards Welbeck. That pass has been intercepted, and Luton can get clear through Harrison Ashby. Ball forward towards Marshall. Nice turn from the forward. Thought he was fouled there by Hachimpong. Referee says yes. In fact, it was Hato. It was who brought down Callum Marshall, Luton's number 9. So that's going to be a free kick for Chelsea, and we're also going to tick into the final quarter of this one. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Chelsea 1, Luton 0. To take us through to full time, I'm going to hand it over to Nathan.
Thank you very much. It's with Joe Johnson in his own half. He goes backwards to Keeley, who may just have to kick long here. He is, and it'll probably just bounce back the way it came. Straight to a Chelsea man, and very comfortable for Neto just to take down on his chest far too easily for a Luton point of view, and them thousands of fans behind the goal have got zero to cheer about tonight, and probably expect that for the next 20 minutes. Chelsea dominating this game. The scoreline doesn't suggest what we've seen. It should be more. They've hit the upright, they've hit the woodwork 3 times now, I believe. You just feel like that second goal is coming, but there is slight hope for Luton, the fact that it's only 1, but they need to push forward, because if it's a draw they go to penalties and it's a lottery. Ball over the top, that's better. Jones takes it down, traps it well. Can he use his speed up against the substitute? May just be cold still. He's up on the left hand side. He jinxed one, it's too easy. He's just showing it actually against Akipong, and he's stood him up well. It's going to be a foul. That's really, really poor play by the Luton substitute, and it's really good defending by the number 34 for Chelsea, and they have themselves a free kick deep in their own half on the near side. And it looks like he'll take it. Of course, he's one of them that played at Craven Cottage 3 days ago, Akipong. So I know a lot of the Premier League teams haven't rotated. We've talked about that. They're playing relatively strong squads for a second round Carabao Cup, which is something we haven't seen in recent years. But it was very interesting how Chelsea were lined up only 3 days after the Monday night fixture. I thought they'd maybe chop and change it a little bit more than they did, but it hasn't seemed to affect them all that much.
No, it hasn't, which is good to see. I mean, I'm one of those who thinks it shouldn't affect players that much anyway. I know that the game is played at a higher intensity and it's more demanding, but at the end of the day, if you compare what pitches players are playing on these days compared to back in the 70s and 80s, and the facilities they've got, it's a terrible excuse to say we're playing 2 games in 7 days. That's fine. That really shouldn't be an issue for players at Chelsea. And thankfully, I think Xabi Alonso agrees and says, you know what, we can get on with this. I've got the players I like, and they should be able to play the minutes I need them to play.
I think in this point of the season as well, with less minutes played, if it was at the last stage of the season, then fitness could be an issue. Whereas at this point, there isn't many minutes under the legs, so they're able to bounce back a bit quicker. Pedro Neto's won a throw-in on the far side, a very exciting player to watch, and Harrison Ashby has put that in a touch for a throw-in to the Blues with just over quarter an hour to go. Chelsea 1, Luton 0, and we're going to have João Pedro coming on, for whom I believe to be the goal scorer, the former Brighton man who got the goal. Gusto with a Dillick ball in, and he had no other option. Danny Welbeck between 2, Ted Owen from 5 yards out. I tell you what, he'll be massively chuffed with that, won't he? Absolutely brilliant, but it was put on an absolute silver platter by the fullback.
Yeah, it certainly was. A great play from Malo Gusto. I was impressed at the start of the season, but delight for Danny Welbeck to be able to get that goal on debut, and I suppose that's going to be his job, I guess, in the slightly lesser games. Give Joao Pedro a rest and find those goals. They're down to 10 men at the minute, Chelsea, because clearly Danny Welbeck's taken longer than 10 seconds to get off the field. So for the next minute, Chelsea will be down to 10. It's already caught out a couple of people, namely strikers. Will Lancashire forgot that it was the rule on the in the first round of the EFL Cup this season. So, yeah. Clearly players haven't been briefed. I know Danny Welbeck will have wanted to take on the applause, but just get off the pitch, mate. That's the name of the game.
Down to 10, but still coming forward. Akipong near side, Palmer with him. Back to Esteval. It may just be a bit of keep ball until he's allowed back on the field of players. Joao Pedro watches the clock on the scoreboard. Valentin Barco to Lavia. First touches for the former Southampton man. And back to Barco, centrally in the Luton half. To the far side it goes to Hato. Looks like Akipong may just be playing on this right side of the fence alongside Lavia, just dropping deep when Akipong pushes forward. And behind Esteval, that's not a good ball. Chance for Luton to break. They've gone backwards. I think they need to break forwards. It's too negative for Town. What have you got to lose at this point? And now they just stood on the ball on the near side, which inevitably they may just end up giving away with an advanced ball. Looks like Joao Pedro can come on. The manager's trying to drag him on by his arm, with the fourth official stopping him. And they have the ball on the near side with Fox. And back to Joe Johnson. And they're just probably happy to see a bit of the ball. Liam Walsh, yep, they've given the ball away. There, it's a loose pass, and Lavia picks it up. That's a loose ball. It's not a great one either. Joe Johnson, who's been stellar, I think, for Luton at the back, and he's won himself another free kick. Done well there, and a free kick for Luton deep in the run-half. And finally time for Chelsea's number 9. Sporting the Dreads to come on the field. Of course, it took him pretty much less than a minute to get on the score sheet at Craven Cottage, didn't it, with what I think is a very underrated finish.
Yeah, he's really, really impressive against Fulham. I find it really, really tricky. I liked a lot about Chelsea, but then I just can't get certain things out of my head from last season, and whether they'll still be there because of Xabi Alonso, I don't know. But really, really good against Fulham. I don't think many people can have too many complaints about that performance, at least going forward. I think Joao Pedro had a great season last season, probably felt hard done by along with Cole Palmer, not to have been taken to the World Cup by Carlo Ancelotti in Brazil. So he'll feel, this is another season for him to prove himself. As Esteval will go for a strike from distance, brilliantly blocked by Joe Johnson, who is playing himself into man of the match contention despite being on the losing side at the moment.
And I tell you what, it was travelling, that effort with the left foot. It really was. We talked about end product for him, but that was better, much better. It was a very, very important block on the far side with Pedro Neto. Quarter of an hour to play, plus additional. Still remains 1-0 to Chelsea. It's all Chelsea. Luton can't lay a glove on them, but it's still only 1-0, which is always hope, no matter who you are. To the near side to Esteval, sitting in so deep. Luton can't get through them, Chelsea, at the minute, but not laying a finger going forward either, because they are that deep. Palmer to the far side to Hato. Down the line to the far side it goes to Pedro Neto, who looks up for it tonight like he always does. Back it goes to Barco. And then Cole Palmer on the 180 spin. He wants to go back onto that left, and he has done. He's allowed to spin. He's into the box. He's dancing through. Shot comes in. Brilliant block. Dicey all playing out from the back by Liam Walsh, but just about got it to Ashby. I feel for him. He's running down the right. There's no one there. That's a push in the back. And a free kick. Oh, he's not giving it. He's not giving it. It's on the far side with Neto. Ball comes across. Is it going to be a corner? I don't know. I thought it got a touch. Is it going to be a goal kick? No, it's going to be a Chelsea corner. That reminded me of the Elanga one against West Brom last night when he got absolutely ripped to the floor and no foul given. He got absolutely barricaded into there and nothing. Everyone stopped, including Chelsea players.
I can't believe that wasn't a foul over on the far side. Absolutely bizarre. Not a good tackle from Pedro Neto, and Harrison Ashby nailed him from behind. And in the end, he gets away with it. I have to say, I've been really, really disappointed with Liam Walsh this evening. Normally, the metronome for this Luton side, 28 years of age, one of the most experienced in this side, as Esteval finally swings across him, but easily headed away by Callum Marshall. Yeah, I normally a real solid player on the ball will just keep it moving, has some nice footwork, but without Billy Mitchell or Jordan Clark alongside him this evening, he's looked at anything but quality, really, and been bitterly disappointed by him, and he's almost cost his side on a couple of occasions. Callum Marshall is going to be brought off now, the former West Ham United striker. his races run in West London this evening. He's going to be replaced by Naki Wells. And Devante Cole as well, on he comes to replace Casey Palmer, who again has shown his quality this evening. Arguably a player who should be playing Championship football, but finds himself in League One, having spent the second half of last season on loan with the Hatters. Been good as well again tonight. But yeah, Devante Cole on the former Barnsley, Manchester City, MK Dons, Bradford, Motherwell, West Brom, Port Vale man. Now of Luton Town, on to make his first appearance for his new club.
Liam Walsh has had his pocket pick, moved to the near side. Is this a chance to kill Luton off once and for all? It's in the back of the net and it's an own goal. It's an own goal by the Luton man. Dauphin, he doesn't deserve that either. I think the shot was going wide. We'll have to have another look. It may have been sneaking in the post. I'm hoping for his sake it's going on target, because Esteval probably deserves a goal and the Dauphin probably doesn't deserve to be on the score sheet at the wrong end. But that is Chelsea into the third round of the Carabao Cup to face Leeds United at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, Jack Wilshere will be so furious. He's just made attacking change. He's gone, do you know what? We've held on at 1-0 with just over 10 minutes to go. Let's give ourselves a chance. And then Liam Walsh has completely thrown it away. I've just said he's lucky that he's not cost his side this evening. And he's given the ball away ridiculously to Valentin Barco. And Esteval punishes him. It is going to go down as an own goal for Hakeem Odofin. I think he knew straight away that it was going to go down as an own goal. He doesn't deserve it. You're absolutely right. He's been great this evening. He almost even tries to step over the ball, but because he's sort of mid-step, it's impossible for him to get his foot down. So unfortunate for the defender, but it all comes down to Liam Walsh giving up the ghost once again. Really poor from the 28-year-old. What he's done tonight wouldn't have been good enough in League One, never mind against Premier League opposition this evening. So really, really, really poor from him. And I think Jack Wilshere will be asking questions of his skipper tonight, because he's let the side down. Jamie Gittins on for Esteval, who I think probably thinks he's got his goal this evening. He hasn't, as much as he's arguably deserved it. But Jamie Gittins on for him. I'm just trying to work out where Pedro Neto's gone, because Gittins has shifted over to the far side and Palmer's on this near side now. So have we lost Pedro Neto?
I know he's not the tallest figure, but he has.
It's not just me. I can't find out. I can't see Pedro Neto on the field. He must have come down onto this near side.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, he has indeed moved on to this near side.
Right by the dugout. He's hid away. But they're still with 11 men, and they did get the substitute done quickly, so they're not down to 10 men. With Lavia, I think they could play with 10 men and still win this game very comfortably, to be frank. Cole Palmer trying to put a ball through. It's a poor ball, well intercepted by Joe Johnson, who's been a standout for Luton. Probably the only decent accounted player out there. Fox has the ball at number 22. Swivels backwards and keeps hold of it. Less than 10 to play. And Fox has it again, centrally in his own half, over to a Dauphin on the far side, who will find out the news that he's put the ball in the back of his own net, and it will go down as an own goal. Liam Walsh, what can he do? The number 8, he may just look long. He thought about it, and across it goes to Fox, very centrally in between his two centre halves, and then move to the near side to Joe Johnson. Inside it goes, keeping hold of it, Devante Cole. Centre circle now for Liam Walsh. It's straight to a Chelsea man. He's had a woeful night. And then won back by Naki Wells. He's done well, actually, the former Bristol City man, to Walsh, who's given the ball away again, can you believe? But they've won it back again. They need to stop giving the ball to him. He's trying to order players around, but I think he should just order a player to stand next to him so he can actually make a pass. And he has made a pass now, thankfully. A Dauphin to the far side. A rare attack for Luton. I say attack. They stood still on the right-hand side, and they're going to go backwards. And I think they just want this game to end. They've shown no account of themselves, unfortunately, in this second half. And Joe Johnson just plays it backwards. And they swift it on for Johnston. On the far side it goes, flip around the corner. Will find Naki Wells' head, but it'll find Barco. And then he moves it to the near side to Cole Palmer. He's going to swivel on the 180, will not stop. 2 games in 3 days, 2 full games it looks like. Pedro Neto, he's going to put the Jets on. The number 7, trying to take on his man. It's going to be Chelsea gone. He's given a goal kick. A touch in there off Jones, defending there the tricky winger. Saw a deflection I didn't see. but in the end it's going to be a goal kick. But this game's done.
Yeah, it does feel like this game's done. It felt like as soon as the second goal came in, as soon as Chelsea got their second goal, the game would be done and dusted, and that's exactly what's happened. But you know, as frustrating as it has been from a neutral point of view, and I'm sure as frustrating as it's been from a Luton Town point of view to not see them come forward pretty much at all in this second half, I think it is worth mentioning that there are a lot of positives defensively to take from this game. There really are. I've been very, very impressed with Joe Johnson, still only 20 years of age. I think Hakeem Odafin has been fantastic. George Johnston's kept himself out of trouble, which, having done commentate on Luton on Saturday, that's no mean feat. He does like to get himself in some awkward positions alongside Magic Jules Anderson. So I think ultimately it has been better tonight defensively against top opposition than we've seen from Luton in quite some time. You can't get away from the fact they've not given it a go in the second half, and it is frustrating to see. But I think if you're Jack Wilshere, you've got to sort of, how do I put it, you've got to kind of pick where you want your positives to come from. Luton know they can score goals. They know they can score goals at League One level. They don't need to try and prove that they can score goals against Chelsea, because they're just going to end up conceding loads down the other end. What Luton don't know they can do is keep teams at bay in their own defensive third, and I think that's exactly what they've done this evening. Again, I can't shy away from the fact that they've not given it a go, and that is frustrating in a cup game. But if I'm Jack Wilshere, I look at it and I go, actually there's a lot I can take from this game.
Yeah, it's just like 2-0 in our game. It's 2-0 at Craven Cottage, by the way. They are underway in the second half, but 3 minutes before the break, Rodrigo Muniz headed a cross goal, similar to the first goal actually, from Emile Smith-Rowe, to make it Fulham 2, Wimbledon 0. So it looks like Fulham's hat is in the next round. A little bit more time to go there. Luton on the near side, trying to finish with a flourish. Jones up against his man. Just going to go back into his own half to Joe Johnson. And Johnson's just going to play it to Walsh. He's going to move it to the far side to a Doffin, who's picking himself up after putting the ball in his own net. Over to Ashby on the far side. 5 to play. Down the line by Ashby. That's better. It's Nahki Wells trying to make a diagonal run, the number 21. Something we didn't see from the former striker that went off. Fox just has the ball. What can they do? Walsh. Can they get anything from this game? Can they give the thousands of fans something to cheer about? It's inside to Walsh. Wants to put a ball in. Past Nahki Wells into the box. Looking in there. Just couldn't find his man. Past Cole in the end, who was trying to get on the end of it. Back on the ball are Luton with Fox. Bit of space. Chance to get a ball in. Just whip it in. He's gone near side to Jones. Standing still up against Neto. Thinking about a cross, he's hit his own man. It's an under-hit cross. Probably his teammates probably saved face because the cross was poor. Liam Walsh has passed it up into the air to João Pedro. Fox has won it back over to the far side to Ashby. The man in the books at Newcastle on loan at Luton moves it inside to Fox. Inside it goes to Walsh. Over the top it goes. Right idea, wrong execution. Pender's well off his line very early. Good starting position by the number 39. Not had a million things to do, but when he has, he's done them right.
Yeah, it was only that one incident from the corner, wasn't there, where he looked a little bit nervy. Other than that, yeah, everything he's been asked to do, he's done well. Showing good quality with the ball at his feet. Showing good maturity, and yeah, he's playing in behind the back line who, well, this combination of 4 players have never played with each other, in the sense that Chevalier and Lacroix joined this summer. Gusto's been here a couple of years. Acheampong's just broken through into the side. So, yeah, he's done well. I think the back four of us have done well as well. Pep Chevalier, brilliant left back performance from him. On break off, Isaiah Jones has done well to win the ball back.
He has, but Pedro Neto's unbelievable recovery. He should get a free kick. He's asking for it the other way, Jones. That was unbelievable by Pedro Neto. Used all his pace to get back. Just when it looks like Nahki Wells and Isaiah Jones were about to break forward, it's a brilliant recovery tackle. Luton haven't got near Chelsea in the second half. They had a couple of glimpses in the first, a couple of shots on target, but way off it in the second. It was an absolute class above Chelsea. So many classes above. Luton haven't got close to them. It's going down as a comfortable win for the Blues, who, like I say, it's not going to be so comfortable in the next round, in the third round against Leeds United, who are, I've put as, with all due respect to them, they may take as a bit of an offence, but I've put them down as my overachievers for this season. I think Leeds will do very well.
Yeah, I think quite possibly they've started the season off really, really well, but I mean, our friends in the office won't thank me for this, but I do think there has been a lot of overreacting, not just from Leeds, but from a lot of people over performances on the opening weekend, more than I seem to remember. I thought Chelsea were good against Fulham. Do I think Chelsea are going to challenge Arsenal for the title? No, probably not. Did I think City were poor against Bournemouth? Did I think they were? Yes. Did I think they were as bad as many people made them out to be? No. It's the first league game under a new manager. Did I think Newcastle were unbelievable against Liverpool? No, I thought they were pretty good, probably slightly better than expected. Did I think Liverpool were absolutely dreadful? Also, no, they're still clicking under a new manager. So I think there are lots of nuances that people didn't really look into at the weekend, and I think, yeah, Leeds maybe have the least amount of nuances to look into, but they still, I would strongly argue, an unknown quantity, the vast majority of them at least. So we'll have to wait and see.
Ball over the top, header across goal. It's going to be a goal kick. Brilliant ball by Valentin Barco. It was Akipong up there. He's offside in the end. But yeah, I always reserve my opinions on teams until about Christmas time. I think that's the best time.
That's called sitting on the fence.
Yeah, sitting on the fence. Yeah, wait until the turn of the year. It's a good decision by the referee. It's going to be a free kick for Luton on the edge of their own box. But yeah, I reserved any opinions. Because the team wins their first game, I never say they're going to push for Europe. Of course, there's always a lot of banter flying around, especially optimistic Leeds fans. Maybe over-optimistic Leeds fans, shall we say.
I think the appropriate time to start thinking about where teams might be finishing and all that sort of thing is end of the transfer window, probably start of October, a month after the end of the transfer window, because by then every team has done all their business, and then within a month you'd like to think that players are starting to settle in, or you can at least see glimpses of the quality of those players. So I think October is a reasonable time to start judging teams, and that's when you can start seeing managers start to become under a little bit of pressure. Until then, any manager being under pressure prior to October, massive overreaction.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about Manchester United. They lost to Hull, of course they did, but I think a lot of teams would have lost that fixture. I don't think Manchester United fans can worry too much. Just need to pick themselves up against Ipswich on Sunday. You haven't missed anything so far, just Chelsea knocking it around the midfield and moving it down the line to Gittins, left side of the box. He goes backwards this time and moves it inside to Lavia, the number 45, 30 yards from goal. Goes back to Lacroix, keeping the pressure on. Chelsea look for a third. 90 minutes done. Is Elliot Bell going to show any mercy? It's going to be 4 minutes. That's more than enough time for Chelsea to get themselves a third. Lacroix to the near side. Pedro Neto dances inside. Look at the pace, it's brilliant. Inside to Palmer. It's good feet. He thought about the short move to the far side. To Gittins, down the line it goes. Into Palmer, in the box. Shot comes in, good save. Needs to be 3. Shot comes in. Oh, what a double save. João Pedro nearly made it 2-2. Oh, Keeley spread himself. Good first save, and then João Pedro on the stretch had a defender in front of him, hit the target, but getting across. I think 2-0 looks a lot better than 3-0, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. Josh Keeley's given a good account of himself this evening. Yeah, really good initial save, and then brilliant bit of defending inside the penalty area as well to scuff that effort from João Pedro. Was it Joe Johnson? Yeah, it was. He's got to be up there for the man of the match, hasn't he? I know he won't get it because he's going to be on the losing side, but you know, we've seen good play from Palmer, good play from Rogers, good play from Esteval, but the underdog, or you know, player for a side 2 divisions below to look as good as Joe Johnson has this evening defensively. Excellent play. Valentin Barco as well, another player who could be up there. He's done brilliantly well to feed Gittins on the far side.
Yeah, looking to a press in a Chelsea shirt, the number 11, striding into the box. He may go for goal. He's thought about it. Oh, he's hit the stump of the post. He put a Doffin on the floor. And he put a shot across goal. Very, very unlucky by the number 11. He'd have loved to score that goal, Jamie Gittins. But in the end, it's hit the post. Almost 3-0. Halfway through the 4 minutes added on. And Luton are hanging on to this 2-goal deficit. Like I say, 2 looks a lot better than 3. As it's at the back now with Johnston, the number 6. Looking for Johnson on the near side. The number 12 on that yellow card, of course, standing on the ball, and I think Luton are happy to just see this out at 2-0. I think they were since that first goal went in, to be frank. That's a ball to Fox on the swivel, goes back to Johnson on halfway. He has Jones down the line, he takes it on himself. What a brilliant run that is. Naki Wells around the corner, poor touch. lets his team down. João Pedro wins it back, swivels on a 180, the number 9, across to the far side. That's a poor ball and picked off to the far side. Not many options, looking to stab it through to Wells, which was the only option. But move to the near side to Jones. It's opening up ever so slightly. Can they get themselves a consolation at least, or a spark of hope? Jones moves inside, move back out to the near side. Devante Cole up against his man. Good second touch, and he's run into trouble. That's a good win though by Liam Walsh. Back to the near side. He gets another stab at it on the near side. Does Jones, dancing inside, and they'll get themselves a corner. It will probably be a consolation, but again, it would look even better than a 2-0 loss.
Yeah, they've taken the foot off the gas here, Chelsea. All of a sudden, they're looking really lackadaisical, and Matt Penders is trying to G his side up. It's João Pedro who, does brilliant well with the turns away from his man, and he just rolls it to Harry Fox in the midfield. Not really good enough from João Pedro. Jake Richards has come on at half-time. We've barely mentioned it, but he was involved in that move. Well, he might well be involved with his corner as well, as he's lurking at the back post. Liam Walsh to take. Needs to be a good delivery into the penalty area.
In-swinger Liam Walsh, not had the finest evening. Needs to put a good ball and doesn't look too bad to the back post. Heads go in against the floor over the bar. That's going to be a goal kick, and that will just be about that. The closest they've come in the second half, a header against the floor, but in the end it's going to be a goal kick. We're just going to get a replay of Jamie Gittins. He put Doffin on the floor. It's brilliant play, and then a cross goal, always curling away in the end off the foot of the post. Kind himself very unlucky. It's going to be a short goal kick by Penders just to Barco, and it's just going to be carried forward. Elliot Bell has a glance at the watch. Cole Palmer going to go for one more Hail Mary. Harrison Ashby is just going to watch this one out. That's going to go out. We've ticked over the 94, and the referee blows for full time. Got the job done in the end, and into the next round of the third round. They'll host Leeds in September. Full time, it's Chelsea 2, Luton 0.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next